Greetings, fellow Americans. Welcome to Fireside Chat, State of Our Nation. I am your host, Susanna Tanner, candidate for Congress 2026 and President 2028. Yesterday was the 4th of July. Happy Independence Day, everybody. With that in mind, we're going to talk about the Declaration of Independence. The Declaration of Independence is a very historic document. It was formally adopted by the Continental Congress on July 4th, 1776. This document represents more than just our separation from England. It represents freedom for all. Thomas Paine wrote, "The cause of America is in a great measure the cause of all mankind." Freedom is a human right. We hold these truths to be self-evident, the Declaration says, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Thomas Paine also wrote, let me back that up, our ancestors meant to secure these rights for all of us, not just themselves. And they did this by creating the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution, our Bill of Rights, and adopting them. That's the most important part, adopting them. Now, Thomas Paine also wrote, a long habit of not thinking a thing wrong gives it a superficial appearance of being right, and raises at first a formidable outcry in defense of custom. At the time, his pamphlet called Common Sense was written. Our ancestors were fighting for our freedom, not just their freedom, our freedom. Every generation after them. We have certainly witnessed our nation's outcry against the perversion of our Constitution. Let these facts be submitted to all. In the Declaration, it says of King George III. That he refused to assent to laws, the most wholesome and necessary for the public good. Seems very familiar. Trump certainly refuses to sign into law legislation that helps our nation. Most recently, the housing bill that was sent to his desk. And he did this because Democrats like the legislation. That is not acceptable. That is downright refusal to assent to law. Fact 2. He has forbidden his governors to pass laws of immediate and pressing importance, unless suspended in their operation till his assent should be obtained. And when so suspended, he has utterly neglected to attend them. Now, Trump has directed Speaker Mike Johnson several times to refuse to hold a vote on legislation. That's also plays into the first fact that I read. Fact 3 is he has refused to pass other laws for the accommodation of large districts of people, unless those people would relinquish the right of representation in the legislature, a right inestimable to them and formidable to tyrants only. Trump has eliminated diversity, equity, and inclusion laws, leaving the door open to prejudice and inequality. But he has also done some other things in regards to representation, and I'll be mentioning that here in a little bit. Fact 4. He has dissolved representative houses repeatedly for opposing with manly firmness his invasions on the rights of the people. So, this is actually part of what I was just talking about, too. Even though today this fact has not yet been observed to my knowledge, I think I messed up here. Oh, yeah. Even though he has not, oh, I missed one. He started with Texas in this matter, actually, I have to say. This is the one where we're talking about gerrymandering and his need for 5 more seats in the Texas State House, Texas State representation. The fact that he even did that shows it really shows that he's trying to eliminate representation for certain people, for certain groups of people. There was another one. He has called together legislative bodies at places unusual, uncomfortable, and distant from the depository of their public records, for the sole purpose of fatiguing them into compliance with his measures. Now, I was going to say, even though this particular one hasn't been observed yet, to my knowledge, in our current administration, we can certainly say that he has made our people most uncomfortable by entertaining dictators in the people's house. There's quite a bit more of this. We can go through all of these. We won't be able to do all of these today. Go through all of them. But let's do this. Let's do this next one. He has refused for a long time after such dissolutions to cause others to be elected, whereby the legislative powers incapable of annihilation have returned to the people at large for their exercise, the state remaining in the meantime exposed to all dangers of invasion from within and convulsions without. He has certainly refused for a long time. In fact, he may have directed Speaker Johnson to refuse to swear in Representative-elect Adelita Grijalva for 7 weeks, just back in 2025. That is refusing others to be elected. So even if he has even if Trump has not directly spoken to Mike Johnson about such matters, the fact that it happened and Speaker Johnson is a huge supporter of Donald Trump really says a lot. He has endeavored to prevent the population of these states, for that purpose obstructing the laws of naturalization of foreigners. This is our 14th Amendment. Refusing to pass others to encourage their migrations hither, and raising the conditions of new appropriations of lands. He has certainly been trying to control a lot of our lands. But most importantly, he has attempted to obliterate the 14th Amendment, the right to citizenship, or the naturalization of citizenship. Thankfully, we have recently seen some progress in this particular matter. A judge has already struck down his executive order, basically refuting the 14th Amendment. That is progress. We can also say that he has, Donald Trump, obstructed the administration of justice by refusing his assent to laws for establishing judiciary powers. He has certainly corrupted the Department of Justice. I would also extend that to say that he has certainly corrupted the Supreme Court of the United States. He has made judges pretty dependent on him. Not necessarily for the tenure, well, yes, for the tenure of their offices. He has appointed, I believe it's 6 of 9 Supreme Court justices at this time. And even though they might not be dependent on him for their salaries, they are dependent on him for the nomination for the position in the first place. But these particular nominations are more in favor of Donald Trump and what he wants, as opposed to protecting the people and justice and our laws. He has erected a multitude of new offices and sent hither swarms of officers to harass our people and eat out their substance. He has certainly utilized ICE, Immigrations and Customs Enforcement, to try to swarm places within the United States. Not sure what's going on. If the video cut out, I'm very sorry. Was not aware that I was going to do that. He has kept among us in times of peace standing armies without the consent of our legislatures. He has in fact tried to invade cities with our own military. Thankfully, also at that, we have seen progress with that. Our National Guard is not to be used the way that he has used them, trying to force citizens into fear and whatnot. He has affected to render the military independent of and superior to the civil power. In this nation, that's not going to fly. We as a nation really know much more about our military than he does. He, in fact, Donald Trump, has never served. His only experience, his only real experience with the military is in the position that he has now. As I understand it, though, his father was a defector from Germany. Not a defector. He was someone who evaded military service. He left Germany. And then when he tried to come back to live in Germany, they told him no. I would have told him no too. And so he had no real choice but to come here to America. That's pretty bad, I'd have to say. So this really is I want to say it's a genetic thing, but it's definitely family history for Donald Trump. He has combined with others to subject us to a jurisdiction foreign to our Constitution. He's definitely taken on a lot of Russian government traits. And I think a lot of us see that. And unacknowledged by our laws, giving his assent to their acts of pretended legislation. Now, there's going to be some more of that. I will be continuing with those facts next week. That is all I have for today. Thank you for your time, and may our path lead to peace and prosperity.